Hello, welcome to another episode of EtrainingGuides. Today we're going to be talking about VMware Fusion 12.2.0 Update. It was recently released by VMware in preparation for support for Windows 11 and Windows Server 2022. So there are some caveats with this update, so I wanted to go over that in this video. So with that, let's get started. So I did upgrade my VMware Fusion yesterday, and one of the things I noticed is that it broke my internet connection. So if you have this problem, and it's depending on how you have your VMware set up. So let me bring my library over. As you can see, I have VMware Fusion 12.2.0, and I've got all my VMs. This is where my lab is installed on. I've got my, my domain controller, what have you. One of the things I noticed when I was logged into my domain controller, as I bring this over here, is that I didn't have internet connection. All right, so what I'm going to do is log into my domain controller. So one of the things you're going to have to do, I had to forcibly shut it down. So one of the things that changed when you do the upgrade is I'm going to bring this over here. If you go to Library, go to VMware. Oh, I'm sorry, Preferences. And then go to VMware. And then go to your VNet, whatever you set. As you can see, it renamed the dhcp.config and created a backup file as well as this. Now, when you open up these files, these two files were the same, but when you looked at this one, so let me just open this up and open up the backup. So on the right side is the backup file, and as you can see right here, my gateway was set to 1. When it got renamed, it changed it to 2. So that's why I don't have internet connection, because the default gateway has changed. So this may not be the fix for you, but this is what I ended up deciding to do, is rather than, you could rename the file and replace it, but what I decided to do is to change my default gateway to 2, which is what I did. So I'm going to just close this out. So let me come in here. And then I go here, Properties. And you go to 4, and I was set to 1, and I changed it to 2. Now the other thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to update my DHCP scope. So I'm going to do that now. DHCP. If you go to server option, scope options, and if you go to router, you can see how it's still set to 1. So we're going to go ahead and change this, remove, and then we're going to do, we're just going to change it to 2. And then add, and then apply. So now the router is set to 2, as it should be. The IP address of the server didn't change. And so, there we go. And then that's still green. Oh, and then we're going to have to restart the server once we're done. Now we're going to go into DNS. All right, so now that I've done that, let me go ahead and reboot this server, restart it, so it restarts everything in the proper order. And once it reboots, it should restart the DHCP services and all that good stuff. And then I should have internet access, which should then fix all my other VMs in my lab. So, because I'm using my domain controller as the main to distribute IP addresses, and so my entire lab environment can work independently from the main host system. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm still running the old 2012, so I got to upgrade that. So that video is coming when I get around to updating my domain controller to 2016, and I'll show you how to do that. I just haven't had time. But now let's fix the VMware stuff. So I would recommend, if you do get prompted to update your 2012, if you get prompted to update your VMware Fusion to 12.2.0, I recommend holding off until a future release becomes available. Otherwise, And I'll show you why in a bit, why I would suggest waiting, because there's going to be another release. All right, so now I've got my node main controller. As you can see, I no longer have that little, oh, there it goes. Okay, yeah, it just took a second. It's gone. All right. Just checking. I was like, wait a minute. All right, so yeah, we got all this stuff that needs to start. All right, eventually that'll start. All right, so now let me minimize that. Let me go to another, okay, so Windows 10. And so all my VMs, I think, have been set to static, except for my workstations are set for DHCP. So let's go to my Windows 10 and I'll show you a Windows 11 and then some of my other machines. Now I'm going to have to do this on every single machine. And I'm just validating this because I already did this on there. You'll get prompted to do the upgrade, so I'll show you that what that looks like in a moment. All right, so okay, this is on Windows 10. Okay, so I do have internet access. Ethernet change. Okay. Now you can see here, this is set to, yep, so this is set to DHCP, but although I did hard code the DNS and DHCP. Okay, so this is fine. So let me open up let me minimize that. Let me go to my Windows 11. Okay, so what'll happen is it's going to prompt you to upgrade. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this Windows 11 VM. It does take a moment. And it will have to upgrade your VMware tools as well. So once it does the upgrade, it'll reinstall VMware tools. Yeah, I know, restart required. So let's go right here. Now Windows 11 is a little bit different. It restarted. There it goes. Okay, so programs. I want to look at the VMware tools. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it was upgraded today. 94 is the last number. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's why. So we're going to edit this. We're going to change this to 2. I just... And now it says connected, so good. I did set this as static. So now I have internet. As you can see, now I can see internet. So let's go on to the next machine. So let's go to my other VM. So let's do an upgrade. This is a 2016 server. And I'll do one more just so you kind of get the idea of what's going to have to happen to all your VMs depending on how many you have. So we're going to go ahead and do that. This seems to be the quickest way to resolve what the update did. So as you can see, there's no internet anymore. So there's no internet. So I need to come in here. Come on. We're going to change that to 2. And click on apply, close. And then we're going to go check the VMware tool, see if it got installed. I think it does that as part of the upgrade. So there it is. There's the VMware. There's the version. And it was installed today. Good. And now I have internet access, as you can see. So I'm going to have to do this on every single one of my VMs. which is fine. I'll do one more for you so you can see. Here's another site server. I'm going to click on upgrade. It's going to upgrade the VM, and in that process, it's going to reinstall the VMware tools. And then I'll have to go in and change my default gateway to 2, which is what they changed to when they update. Basically rename those files that I showed you in the beginning of the video. So this was, for me, this was the quickest way to solve my issue. But again, depending on how you have your lab set up, you know, you can try this as an option. It may be a fix for your situation if the VMware 12.2.0 broke your internet connection, which is sometimes it happens. It doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's kind of a pain to resolve it. So that's why I wanted to do this video, to kind of show you one way that you can try to resolve it. So you can see there's no internet connection. So let me go here and change my setting. Luckily for me, I had set all these to static, so it's not that big of a deal. I didn't want to do bridge connections. I wanted this to be completely separate from my host, so the lab can communicate with each other. All right, and that's that. Once I do that, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, see, there it goes. You can see I got internet now. VMware will update it. So that's basically it. That's all you got to do. So I'm going to bring up the location of that file so you can just have that. So if you go to check on your end, if you go to library and you go to preferences, and then you go to VMware, and then you go to whatever VNet customization you have. For me, it's 2, and you can see it renamed the dhcp.config and the nat.config file to a backup file, and it did make some changes. So I would just compare the 2 files and see what changed in your environment, and then kind of make those changes accordingly. So I decided to just go ahead and change my default gateway to 2. It would be the easier way to do it. So that's basically it. So, you know, in my opinion, I would wait, because even though I've upgraded it and it said it's in preparation for Windows 11, so I do have Windows 11 already on my VM. But here's the thing: is when you let's do a new VM and let's continue here, and let's select the Windows 11. So if I click on that, you can see it doesn't even have an option for Windows 11, and it doesn't even have an option for 2012. 2022 server, so there's not even an option selected. So if you don't need this particular update, I'd wait till the next update, unless you have to have this update before the next one. So we'll find out from VMware. But if you already updated it, just kind of check those files. That may be the fix for you. But do note that it may break your internet connection. So anyways, that's all I wanted to share with you on this this VMware Fusion 12.2.0 update. While it is an update that's in preparation for support for Windows 11 and support for Windows Server 2022. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and finish fixing the rest of my VMs, and that's it. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up, and then consider subscribing. I'm still working on the 2107 upgrade. Unfortunately, I have to fix this before continuing to finish working on that video. So anyways, again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.